Today on Rappler. Airport Chief Cesar Chong is suspended. A U.S. state official declares support for the Philippines versus China's aggression in the South China Sea. The Sandiganbayan affirms the Graft charge against former Quezon City Mayor Herbert Bautista. State Weather Bureau PAGASA upgrades its warning status from El Niño Watch to El Niño Alert. The Philippine volleyball team plays its kickoff game at the SEA Games in Cambodia ahead of the opening. Retired tennis star Serena Williams confirms she is expecting baby number 2. And boxing superstar Manny Pacquiao loses a $5.1 million case in the U.S. Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista has 3 days to implement the preventive suspension of Manila International Airport Authority head Cesar Chong on orders of the Ombudsman. In a radio interview on DZBB, Bautista comes to Chong's defense and questions whether the Ombudsman's orders followed due process. Under the order, Chong is placed under preventive suspension after anonymous MIAA officials filed complaints against him. Chong was accused of reassigning 285 MIAA employees in less than a year. Chong fought back against the allegations, claiming the reassignment was part of his efforts to improve the NAIA's operations and finances. Chong's suspension comes at the heels of a power outage in the NAIA on Monday, May 1. Airspace shutdowns for technical maintenance are scheduled for May 3 and 17. A government official says the United States stands with the Philippines in the face of harassment by China's Coast Guard in the South China Sea. U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Daniel Crittenbrink says Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s visit to the United States this week highlights the strength and endurance of the alliance between the two countries. The Philippines on Friday, April 28, accused China's Coast Guard of dangerous maneuvers and aggressive tactics in the South China Sea, as another maritime confrontation between the two countries took place. Crittenbrink says, quote, "Such actions and behavior on the part of Beijing are truly unacceptable." The Philippines and United States on Monday, May 1, reaffirmed the country's decades-old security alliance, a turnaround from the DOTr administration's pro-China policy. The Sandiganbayan affirms the charge against former Quezon City Mayor Herbert Bautista. The court denies Bautista's motion seeking the outright dismissal of Graft case against him for the alleged anomalous contract he signed 3 days before he stepped down as mayor in 2019. Bautista and former city administrator Aldrin Cunha allegedly favored private contractor GeoData Solutions Inc. and approved a 32.1 million peso contract for the procurement of online occupational permitting and tracking system. The deal allegedly caused undue injury to Quezon City. The Sandiganbayan says the case filed by the Office of the Ombudsman against Bautista sufficiently states the allegations to sustain the indictment. Both Bautista and Cunha face a second graft case over a 25.34 million peso solar power contract system. State Weather Bureau PAGASA upgrades its warning status from El Niño Watch to El Niño Alert. The State Weather Bureau now sees an 80% probability of El Niño emerging in the June, July, August period. It says the weather phenomenon may persist until the first quarter of 2024. PAGASA warns El Niño increases the likelihood of below-normal rainfall conditions, which could trigger dry spells and droughts in parts of the country. Water supplies may be affected. PAGASA also encourages all concerned government agencies and the public to, quote, "keep on monitoring and taking precautionary measures against the impending impacts of El Niño." El Niño occurs every 2 to 7 years. The last El Niño occurred from the last quarter of 2018 to the third quarter of 2019. The Southeast Asian Games returned to Cambodia, with the Philippines aiming to improve from its fourth-place medal tally finish in Vietnam. The Philippine national men's volleyball team starts its campaign on Wednesday, May 3, 2 days before the opening ceremonies in Phnom Penh. Here are the elimination round schedules for both men and women's volleyball teams. An all-new men's team, under the leadership of Captain Vince Mangulabnan and Hao Umandal, hopes to replicate 2019's Cinderella run to the finals for a historic silver medal finish. Meanwhile, Alyssa Valdez captains the women's team, which seeks to clinch an 18-year medal drought. Serena Williams confirms she is expecting baby number 2 at the star-studded Met Gala in New York. Serena captions a TikTok post on Monday evening saying, quote, "Was so excited when Anna Wintour invited the three of us to the Met Gala." Footage from the red carpet shows Serena's husband, Alexis Ohanian, a tech entrepreneur and co-founder of Reddit, gently resting his hand on the tennis legend's belly. Serena announced last year she was, quote, "evolving away from tennis," writing in a Vogue magazine article that she wanted to grow her family after welcoming daughter Olympia in 2017. Serena, a longtime friend of Vogue editor-in-chief and Met Gala co-chair Anna Wintour, is a frequent attendee of the annual gala. Former senator and boxing superstar Manny Pacquiao loses his case against US-based live streaming service Paradigm Sports Management and needs to pay $5.1 million. The jury accepted Paradigm's claims that Pacquiao's actions made it impossible for the US Sports Management Group to fulfill its contract obligations, leading to a multi-million loss in revenue. In 2021, Paradigm sued the former senator and presidential candidate for an alleged breach of contract. The jury awarded Paradigm $1.8 million in damages and ordered Pacquiao to pay back the $3.3 million advance he got. Pacquiao's defense lawyer argues his client Pacquiao was taken advantage of by Paradigm, which had never worked with boxers before. Pacquiao has yet to comment on the decision. And that's today's wrap. I'm Giselle Barrientos. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.